Hello Power Rangers Lightning Collection fans, and welcome back to Lightning Storm, the series where lightning always strikes twice as we talk about everything that has happened in the past week for the Power Rangers Lightning Collection. There's actually a pretty good amount of stuff to talk about this week, which I wasn't expecting there to be, after everything we had during Power Week, but we do actually have some pretty good updates to talk about, especially some of the stuff that happened at Morphicon, and also I guess didn't happen at Morphicon, and a bunch of other stuff as these planes continue to fly around as they prepare for the air show that's going on here for Labor Day weekend and causing every video that I record to be a pain. So they're going to be here. I don't know what to do about it. Let's get into it. First up for this week, we have some Power Morphicon stuff to discuss, specifically about these. So they're here. Here are one of them is not this, but one of them is the event poster. However, we do have these posters from Tom Whalen, which I'm trying not to bend up here at all. But we have the Heroes one and we have the Villains one of Lightning Collection artwork. So we talked about these a couple of episodes of Lightning Storm ago when they were first announced for the convention, and how this one leaked the existence of Dino Fury Blue. Now, Dino Fury Blue, I think, was supposed to be announced over Morphicon weekend at a particular panel, the MMPR Toys one, but that didn't happen, and I don't know why, so we're still waiting for an announcement of Ollie. But these two posters, if you did not attend Power Morphicon and want to pick them up, well, you're going to be in luck, because Tom Whalen posted on Twitter that he is going to have copies of both of the event posters for sale in the near future. So I don't know exactly where that's going to be. I assume on his site, where he always posts like the full galleries of all his artwork and everything. But I love these prints a lot. They're a little rolled up right now because I had to get them home safely. But they survived the flight and they're here. So I got to figure out, I'm going to probably try to frame them or something. But I absolutely love those. So if you can get your hands on them, that's really, really great. I'm glad that they're going to be available for people who didn't get them. But speaking of the MMPR Toys panel that I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, there was actually not news for the Lightning Collection per se, but still kind of cool stuff that happened. Basically, they got to show off the prototypes of the Power Daggers, and who better to do that than someone who used, I think used the Power Daggers, and that was Aisha herself, Karen Ashley, came out on stage with the Hasbro prototypes of the Power Daggers that we saw during the fan stream, or actually during the Power Week videos and everything. But it was really cool to have her walk out and, kind of play around with the daggers, kind of hit each other, hit the two daggers together and everything.
I will battle you with it. It's like so good, guys.
And you can connect them.
You can connect them.
Yeah.
I'll let you do that.
And now make sure.
And so we actually got to see all three of the power weapons that have happened so far for the Lightning Collection up on stage, which was just really cool to see. Obviously the sword and the lance are already out. Be sure to check out my video reviews of them if you have not already. They are pretty fun. I really do like the weapons so far, but just seeing those unreleased, items right in front of me was really, really cool. So I'm really happy that they actually were able to get the prototype there. What was really interesting, which I don't know why they didn't exactly talk about it, I'm pretty confident Pam and Jordan didn't talk about it, but when they connected the daggers together, which we saw and I talked about in last week's episode of Lightning Storm, so they can combine because of some random Zyuranger scan or something that showed that it was possible, but in that scan, the little sides of the daggers were folded down. And like I said, I'm pretty sure Pam and Jordan did not talk about that. However, they did actually show it off at the Power Morphicon panel that they actually can fold in like that. So they are accurate to that random Zyuranger scan if that is something you want to do with them. Because it never happened. It was just in this scan. It was like a theoretical thing that I guess they were always designed to do, but then just never did. It's very strange. Now, one thing that I didn't even think of, because I never would have thought of the daggers actually combining for whatever particular reason, is that they would be the same port that they used on the lance. And it is. So Scott and Bruno up there got to play around with it, and they actually connected one dagger to one lance, so you can make this power dagger lance thing. What were people calling it? People were calling it the power dance. People were calling it the power, not lagger, that sounds weird, but it was just really funny to see it combined like that, and that's kind of neat. I will definitely give it that. For if you want to do that, if that's something you want to do with them, or you can just put them on the display stand and just use them as the regular power daggers if that's good enough for you. It's good enough for me. So, you know, just things that don't hurt the toy by any means. In fact, it just gives it more playability. However, those daggers are still not worth the $132 price point. I will still stand by that, but you still can pre-order them, and I'll probably include like a pre-order link or something like that in the description below. But that's all we really had for Lightning Collection stuff during Power Morphicon, besides like the fan stream and, you know, the final Power Week video. But we talked all about that Power Week stuff last week, so there's really not much else to talk about it. The only other tiny thing to talk about though with the daggers is that Comics and Cocktails, the UK store, they posted on their Facebook page about the daggers, that basically saying they will combine or something like that. And then people were saying like the boxes of the sword and the lance imply that the weapons combine, or that they're going to be going towards a full power blaster. And I'm sitting here, I don't think the boxes really do imply that. But I mean, at this point, if we have 3 of the 5 weapons and they were being a little weirdly sort of cryptic about if we were going to get more, or there was going to be announcements for more or something, they had this really weird like stay tuned message that Pam and Jordan said at the end of the final Power Week video. So I think it's a pretty safe bet that we're going to be getting the bow and the axe, but I don't know exactly when that's going to be, or how that's going to be, or how expensive that's going to be. I'm very terrified for it because of how expensive the daggers were. But, you know, whatever. So there's that. So that's pretty much everything we had for Morphicon stuff. And I think that was all I had to talk about for the daggers. So, you know, I'm still interested in everybody's thoughts on them down in the comments below. If you know, are going to pick them up, are you happy that they can do the little blade fold-in thing for the random G-Ranger scan of them coming together? Or, you know, how much do you think the other two are going to cost whenever we do get them? Next up, we have some Deluxe Wave 2 stuff to talk about, or just kind of general stuff from the Power Week stuff. So we actually got a pretty cool series of tweets that came out last weekend from Dennis, always bumping on Twitter, who, if you don't know, he is a sculptor, or one of the sculptors for the Lightning Collection, and he usually likes to post whenever he's, you know, or whenever a figure he's done gets revealed. And he did that exact thing at the end of Power Week here. So this came out actually like while I was waiting for last week's episode to like finally upload, which was taking forever from the hotel room last weekend. However, we got to see that not only did he work on Wild Force Blue, which we got to see in his tweet there, which, you know, fantastic work as always. He was talking about the fighting fins and everything, the little like tonfa things. But what was really, really fascinating to me was what he had to say about SNIZZARD. So we know SNIZZARD is one of the monster figures in Deluxe Wave 2, and I mean, I have known about SNIZZARD for a while. We've had the code name for SNIZZARD for like a year or so. However, it seems like this figure was in development a very long time ago. So basically, Dennis talked about in his tweet that he worked on an early sculpt of the figure back in like 2019 that eventually became the finished product. He said it was pretty preliminary and a lot of the overall shapes did get carried over to the final product, but he wasn't the person that actually finished the SNIZZARD figure sculpt, which was just extremely fascinating to me, because we know that obviously Dennis doesn't do every single one of the Lightning Collection figures. I don't think we've had Corey on a stream in a very long time, but he was another one of the sculptors that we used to actually have on fan first streams and everything, who seems to do probably a good majority of the ones that Dennis doesn't. I'm sure there's other people as well that just aren't really out there. Or there's actually some people I remember on a site like 2 or 3 years ago that they had done the putty, and I think they had done somebody else that I can't think of, but there's a lot of different people that work on the Lightning Collection sculpting, obviously. But it was just really fascinating to me to hear him talk about how he started SNIZZARD like 3 years ago or 2 years ago or whenever it was. Now he did clarify when I quote tweeted it on Lightning Fig PR. He then like inserted that tweet in a reply that this was not a standard thing. You know, it did not usually take this long for figures to be in development to final release, so it's definitely possible that SNIZZARD was maybe shelved for a while until somebody came in and finished Dennis's work and then got the figure out there, or maybe he was supposed to be earlier and just got pushed around with other releases, or whatever it may be. Maybe this would have been like a Mighty Morphin, or not a Mighty Morphin, well yeah, but maybe it would have been a Monsters Wave 3 or something like that, since we know that Monsters Wave 2 got canceled and the figures ended up coming out anyway. It was supposed to be Eye Guy and Pirantis Head, but maybe there was a third wave or some other weird stuff in development that just kind of got pushed around when they ended the Monsters line. Very, very interesting stuff here, but I really like this kind of insight on the Lightning Collection. So whenever we can get things like this from, Tom with the artwork or Dennis with sculpting or anything like that, I am all here for it. So I'm going to go ahead and include Dennis's little tweet threads down in the description below. So if you guys like to check them out and look at all the really cool pictures of him working on the sculpt and all that kind of good stuff, there you go. And thank you once again to Dennis for always posting these insights whenever you're able to. So this was an interesting one. So earlier this past week, it was actually the first day that I was back in school and everything, after I had finally got moved in here to the best of my ability, and I had kind of got all situated off of my flight. I was sleeping in on Tuesday, and then I wake up and I find out that Entertainment Earth put another one of those, hey, thing is dropping, like our product drop thing is happening at this certain time. And this one was specifically for Power Rangers, and I was like, what could possibly be going up for pre-order now? Power Week is over. I thought we were going to not have any pre-orders until at least PulseCon at the end of September. But, in a very weird turn of events, it was the Lord Drakkon Helmet, which, okay. So what's really interesting about that is that it went up for pre-order this past week on Entertainment Earth and on Big Bad Toy Store, I think, and that might be Dorkside Toys as well. I know I was forgetting one. So basically, a lot of the other fan channel retailers that would have a fan channel item. But what's so strange about it is the fact that the Lord Drakkon Helmet is supposed to be a GameStop exclusive item. That's what it was announced to be back in March, but no longer. So even though the helmet is still technically not released in the US, Hasbro Pulse has started to ship it out actually to people this past week. So that's not necessarily that true anymore. But if you don't want to get the helmet off of GameStop, you can now wait until November is what they have it listed for on these other sites, and you can get it for the same price at all these other retailers. So it's kind of like how Entertainment Earth and Big Bad Toy Store have been getting previous store exclusives in the past, like A Squad Green or A Squad Pink, or it's those Walmart retro figures. But it's like the first time we've had a store exclusive become not a store exclusive before it even had its official release. It's very weird. I don't exactly know what happened with that, but in my opinion, the thing I got out of this was that I now have more stores that I can wait for a sale on this helmet for, so I can finally pick it up for a decent price, and not the price that they want for it, because it is, like the Daggers, way too expensive in my opinion. So I'm definitely going to be waiting to get the Drakkon Helmet, but I have to get it for completion's sake. But now I just have a lot of different options, and now you do as well. But if you really do want to get it for its full price, I will be leaving a link to a bunch of different stores in the description below, so be sure to check it out. Finally for this week, we have one little cool thing to talk about here, which is only Lightning Collection by a sort of technicality. So basically, recently Hasbro Pulse has been doing this thing called fan merch, which I guess is not that revolutionary of a name. It's pretty self-explanatory. But basically, they've been putting a bunch of different shirts and stuff like that up on Hasbro Pulse for their different brands. And Power Rangers has a couple up there. They were basically like the shirts that Pam and Jordan were wearing during the fan, or I was going to say, well, yeah, during the fan stream, but also just basically during the Power Week videos. Every time you saw them, they were wearing one of the shirts that was on Hasbro Pulse. Now, I could have sworn that I've seen this shirt already. I know I have. Either somebody tweeted it to me, or they might have even mentioned it on the fan stream or sometime during Power Week. It's been a very long, crazy week, so I don't exactly remember when I first saw this shirt. However, the reason why I'm talking about it today is because I didn't realize that it was a Lightning Collection shirt until Hasbro tweeted about it. And because it's a Lightning Collection shirt, that means I absolutely have to buy it. So Hasbro Pulse tweeted out, "We need Dragon Zord power now. Ranger Nation, cheer on the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger with the new Power Rangers Lightning Collection Zord Ascension Project Dragon Zord fan merch t-shirt. Available in men's and women's fits. Shop now on Hasbro Pulse." And then, of course, they include a picture of the shirt. And this is really, really cool for a couple of different reasons. First of all, it is an official Lightning Collection shirt, which means I did, of course, buy one. So hopefully maybe I'll have that for like next week's episode of Lightning Storm or something like that, because that's going to be a pretty good shirt to wear. But second of all, I'm pretty confident that is some Tom Whalen artwork right there. So I'm looking at the poster, or looking at the artwork here, and that pretty much looks like Tom's style. Tom did retweet the tweet as well. I'm pretty confident that's Tom Whalen artwork. I mean, it definitely looks like it, right? But basically, it's this very pretty artwork of the Dragon Zord that has its number distinction of the Z0121, which is on the box. It has the Ranger Z, which is also the logo for the Zord Ascension Project. It has the Mighty Morphin Green Ranger on there as well. It doesn't actually have a Lightning Collection logo on the shirt, from what I can tell, unless it's like on the back or something, which would be really, really cool, although I doubt it. So, I mean, it is Lightning Collection because it is specifically mentioned to be Lightning Collection in the tweet, and it's obviously artwork that might even be, I don't think it's the same artwork that's on the box. It looks similar, but they even recreated the like missile firing fingers that he has with the toy in the artwork, which is just really cool. I love this artwork a lot. So thanks, Motorcycle Guy. But I really, really like this shirt quite a bit, And even if it has the Lightning Collection logo or not on it, I mean, if it did, that would be an automatic buy. But it already was just a regular automatic buy because it's a Lightning Collection adjacent product. So I'm going to put that on that checklist I always update. I'm going to put this shirt on there because it technically does count, and that's why I'm talking about it today during Lightning Storm. But like I said, I'm pretty confident somebody's tweeted this to me or something. People already, when I retweeted it earlier on, people were already replying that like they already got theirs, or that it arrived today, or that it was arriving soon. So clearly it's been a thing that's been up there for a couple of days. They didn't just put it up there like, you know, yesterday when they put out the tweet. But still, really, really sweet. And let me know down in the comments below, are you going to pick one of these up? They have it in 2 colors, black and gray. I bought a gray one, and they have a bunch of different sizes out there as well. So I will leave a link to it in the description below. And obviously, it is a Hasbro Pulse exclusive shirt. As far as I know, I don't think they're selling these fan riches anywhere else, but I love this shirt quite a bit, and I've already talking about it way longer than I ever probably needed to, but I just wanted to gush over it for a minute because it's really neat. Alright, and with that is everything we have to talk about for this week's episode of Lightning Storm. And of course, until next time, you guys can follow me on Twitter at LightningRangerKey or at LightningPR, and I'll see you all in Lightning Storm. This here's where lightning always strikes twice.